where risk lives in real estate practice. As we continue building toward a complete supervision and risk management framework, this section focuses on the areas of real estate that carry the highest likelihood of claims, complaints, and regulatory violations. These are the transactions and activities where brokers must increase oversight, implement stricter systems, and ensure agents are properly trained. This section connects directly to E&O coverage and policy components, because understanding high-risk activities is the first step in preventing claims. Short sales, complexity. Beyond the transaction. Short sales are one of the most complex transaction types in real estate. They require not only standard due diligence, but also involve advising clients on serious financial and legal consequences. Agents may be placed in positions where clients rely on them for guidance that goes beyond real estate, such as credit impact or tax consequences. This creates increased liability. The key takeaway is clear. Agents must stay within their lane and recommend professional advisors when necessary. Property management, handling other people's money. Property management presents one of the highest risk areas due to the handling of trust funds. Mismanagement of deposits, rents, or expenses can quickly lead to regulatory violations under ARS, paragraph 32-2151, and disciplinary action. Brokers must implement strict accounting procedures and regular audits. When money is involved, supervision must be absolute. Fix and flip transactions. Fast profits, high exposure. Fix and flip investments involve rapid renovations and resale, often under tight timelines. These transactions introduce risks related to contractor licensing, building permits, disclosures, and property condition. Failure to properly disclose repairs or defects can lead to significant liability. Speed increases risk when due diligence is ignored. Private money and lending activities, licensing requirements. Agents who assist in arranging private financing may unknowingly cross into activities that require additional licensing. Without the proper mortgage licensing, these actions can violate state and federal law. This reinforces a key concept. Just because you can facilitate a deal does not mean you are legally allowed to do so. Securities and investment structures, beyond real estate licensing. When agents begin forming investment groups, partnerships, or LLCs for real estate purposes, they may be entering the world of securities regulation. This often requires additional licensing at both the state and federal levels. Brokers must be extremely cautious in allowing these activities within the brokerage. This is where real estate ends and securities law begins. Preferred vendor lists, the risk of negligent referral, recommending vendors such as inspectors, contractors, or service providers can create liability if those vendors are not properly vetted. If a vendor performs poorly or lacks proper licensing, the brokerage may face claims for negligent referral. The solution is simple. Verify credentials, maintain records, and avoid blind recommendations. Foreign investors. Compliance and verification. Working with foreign investors introduces additional layers of compliance, including verification of funds and adherence to anti-discrimination laws. These transactions are often subject to increased scrutiny. Brokers must ensure that agents follow proper procedures and avoid discriminatory practices. Compliance must be both legal and ethical. Unlicensed activity, a major enforcement area. Allowing unlicensed individuals to perform activities that require a license is a serious violation. This includes negotiators, assistants, or third parties who are compensated for licensed activity. Under ARS, paragraph 32-2122 and related statutes, this can result in significant penalties. If they are negotiating, they must be licensed. Gaps in E&O coverage. The hidden risk transitions between brokerages can create gaps in E&O coverage if proper tail or extended reporting coverage is not in place. This means an agent could be exposed to claims without insurance protection. Brokers must educate agents on maintaining continuous coverage. A gap in coverage can be financially devastating. Fringe activities, operating outside the scope. Some agents engage in activities outside traditional real estate practice, such as foreclosure services, credit repair, or private lending. These activities often fall outside both licensing and E&O coverage. This creates significant exposure for both the agent and the broker. If it's outside your expertise, it's outside your protection. Advertising and marketing, a major compliance area. Advertising is one of the most heavily regulated areas in real estate. Under AAC R428502, brokers must supervise all advertising to ensure it is truthful, not misleading, and compliant with laws. This includes online, social media, print, and signage. If the public can see it, the broker is responsible for it. Fiduciary duty in advertising. Protecting the client. Advertising must not violate fiduciary duties such as confidentiality and loyalty. Statements like motivated seller can potentially harm a client's negotiating position. Brokers must train agents to focus on property features, not client circumstances. Marketing should never compromise the client. Truth in advertising and RESPA. Federal compliance advertising involving financing terms must comply with truth in lending laws, including proper disclosure of APR when triggering terms are used. Additionally, RESPA prohibits improper compensation arrangements, such as unequal cost sharing and joint advertising with affiliated service providers. Improper advertising can lead to federal violations. Fair housing, zero tolerance for violations. Advertising must comply with fair housing laws, ensuring no preference or discrimination based on protected classes. Even seemingly harmless phrases can be interpreted as discriminatory. Brokers must ensure that all marketing is inclusive and compliant. Fair housing is not optional, it is enforced. Broker oversight, the final line of defense. Ultimately, the designated broker is responsible for supervising all high-risk activities within the brokerage. This includes implementing systems for reviewing transactions, advertising, vendor relationships, and agent activities. This ties everything together. Supervision is the key to preventing high-risk situations from becoming legal problems. Real-world example, advertising gone wrong. An agent advertises a property as perfect for young families. While this may seem harmless, it could be interpreted as discriminatory based on familial status. If a complaint is filed, both the agent and broker could face investigation and potential penalties. This reinforces the lesson: words matter, and compliance starts with communication. How this section connects forward. This section brings together supervision, E&O coverage, and compliance into real-world application. It highlights that the highest risks are often found in everyday activities that are not properly managed. As we move into the final wrap-up, we will integrate all of these concepts into a complete system for broker supervision and risk management. The goal is not just awareness, but action. Identify the risk, control the process, and protect the brokerage. Online discussion. Question. 1. Why are short sales considered high-risk transactions? Answer: because they involve complex financial, legal, and disclosure issues that go beyond standard transactions. Question 2. What is a negligent referral? Answer: recommending a vendor who is unqualified or unlicensed, leading to potential liability for the brokerage. Question 3. Why is advertising a high-risk area? Answer: because it is heavily regulated and can create liability for misrepresentation, fiduciary breaches, and fair housing violations.